Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Bad Luck Gamer, and today we're going to be doing something a little different from our standard videos. Today we're going to be talking about the new upcoming class for Pathfinder 2e, the Kineticist. Now, if you're not aware, I actually did a live reaction to the Kineticist. You can find that video here in the... I can never point to the right spot. Here, I'm going to put a little card for it, and you can go check it out. It's a 3-hour stream. You don't go watch the whole thing, but if you want to, it's there, and it was a lot. So much, in fact, that I wanted to make a much more, probably very manic video talking about what makes this class so hype. So why are so many people losing their absolute minds about the Kineticist? And well, I'm going to do my best to kind of do it in a nice condensed fashion, and hopefully I can make it entertaining for y'all. So, that being the case, let's get started. First and foremost, it has a con key ability score, because for some reason, Pathfinder and tabletop players in general are addicts, and they just have to have all the options. If for one reason, one attribute, one skill is not used, people will lose their minds and crave it like water in a desert. My roommate especially just has been complaining about not having a con key ability modifier this whole time, and I don't know why. It's great, right? It gives you HP, makes your fortitude make your fortitude saves better, and that's it. It's a slightly tankier stat, but whatever. I guess if you really want to, you can have 20 more HP at level 20. Good for you. You're still gonna have less health than the barbarian. Next up on the list of hype is the fact that the Kineticist is essentially an elemental bender. If you love Avatar: The Last Airbender, you're going to love the Kineticist. They have a variety of different options they can pick as well when it comes to how many elements they can control. You could be a dedicated elemental user. It's called the dedicated gate, where you only control one element, but you get 3 bonus feats at level 1. 3 bonus feats at level 1. We're going to talk about feats later. But continuing on, you could go with the dual gate, and you could have access to 2 elements. And you get 2 bonus feats at level 1. And then you could be a universal gate user and have 1 additional feat. Now, let me verify real quick here. Is it 1 plus a Kineticist feat? Yep. You get 1 additional feat when you pick the universal gate, and it has to be a impulse feat, which is very typically going to come from the individual elemental trees, or feat trees, which we're going to get to. Oh boy, how are we going to get to that? But we got a few more things to talk about first. Yes, the number one thing that people absolutely love with the Kineticist in Pathfinder 1st Edition, blasts. You can blast a lot. You can blast with different elements. You gather it up, kind of like reloading your hand, and then you can melee blast. You can range blast, and let's count all the other ways that you can blast. You get flexible blasts. You can do a blast barrage. You get cycling blasts that reload your blast when you blast. You can chain your blasts together to hit multiple creatures in a room, potentially hitting all the creatures in the room. If it hits a target, attempt a new range elemental blast from the target against a different creature that's within the first range increment of the blast, using the same multi-attack penalty as the first. You can keep chain blasting in this way until you run out of enemies, or you do a total of 5 blasts. You get 5 attacks at your full attack penalty if it's the first attack you make in the round, and you can hit 5 different targets with blasts. But wait, there's more blasts. We have fusion blasts, where, you know, if you're using 2 elements, why not blast them twice? And then we have the final blast, the Maelstrom blast, where you hit them with a blast so big it covers the room, let's see here. Make a melee blast against each enemy in the blast's reach, or make a range blast against each enemy in a cone with a length equal to the blast's first range increment. Let me tell you, some of the blasts, depending on what elements you have certain ranges. Earth has a very modest 20 feet, which, is fair, and it's a very small cone. But if you choose air, you can have a 120-foot cone and hit everyone in the room with maelstrom blasts. So, yeah, we got blasts. You want to be a blaster? You can be a blaster. You can be the non-caster blaster if you absolutely want to. And there's still so much more about the Kineticist that we have to go over. I also have to tell you all that the Kineticist feat names goes hard. I mean, it goes hard. Let's just look at a few of them, shall we? Infinite Expanse of Bluest Heaven. The Shattered Mountain Weeps. All shall end in flames. Usurp the Lunar Reigns. I mean, whoever designed these feats for the Kineticist went hard. These names just sound like you can move the mountains, shape the earth, cause volcanoes, rip away the tides from the moon. I mean, they go crazy. And let's talk about feats. Oh boy, let's talk about feats, shall we? So, for those of you who may not be aware, I do a Why This Class is Awesome series. I always, when the class gets released, I look into the classes and I pick out some of my favorite things from the class and really show the bright sides of each of the classes, because I do genuinely think all the classes are really, really good. This playtest has 24 pages. 24 pages for a playtest. You all know how many feats are in this playtest that the Kineticist gets access to? I'll let you guess. You're wrong. Not high enough. Higher. More! They have 71 feats in this playtest. And you know what? They're not done. They're adding 2 more elements to the feat list. They're adding metal and wood. This isn't even all of them. There's 71 feats coming out, and this isn't even enough. There's a reason why there's probably only going to be 1 class coming out next year, and that's because they got to write a whole book just to fit the Kineticist in it. Oh. The Kineticist also just gets a lot of feats that do some pretty crazy stuff. Now, actually, you know what? I forgot to do this earlier. I had to get all the craziness out. But if you're liking this video, please, for my sanity's sake, at least leave a like. You can subscribe if you want to see more manic content like this. And if you even think that you would like to talk to me or be associated with Bad Luck Gamer in general, you can join our Discord linked down in the description, where we talk about all things tabletop, including war games like Warhammer 40k. I also recruit there first for any of the games that I play here on the channel. So if you want the chance to play with me and my friends, that's the place to be. I don't know why you would, because this is going to drive me insane. Also, I have a Twitter if you want something a little less committal than the Discord. Anyway, let's continue on as I grasp the last few shreds of my sanity trying to put this video together. So, yes, a lot of the feats of the Kineticists are very focused around the manipulation of elements. This causes a lot of their feats to mimic spells in some way. And thus, you get feats like this. Drowning Sphere, which is essentially Aqueous Orb, only it doesn't cost you any spell slots. You can do this every turn if you really wanted to. Granted, if you do, obviously the prior sphere disappears. But hey, you know what? Let's take Aqueous Orb and let's give it whip-like tendrils it can use to attack foes outside and inside of it. So not only are they trapped by your orb of water, but they're also being whipped by water inside of the water. Yeah, the feats go hard, trust me. Ignite the Sun allows you to create a miniature sun in a 5-foot burst within 500 feet. This is essentially an infinite fireball that you can use, granted, for 3 actions, but you can chuck this up to 500 feet away, and it creates a 500-foot radius and another. You can light up a small town with this spell. It also does 4d6 fire damage with a basic reflex saving throw with everyone in the burst. Not only that, but the sun continues to channel fire into you and your allies' weapons, allowing you, as long as you're within 20 feet of the sun, everyone does an additional d6 fire damage with your strikes. Spells that deal fire damage also increase this are increased with this damage as well. Yes, you can create the sun, light up a small town, and give all your allies essentially the flaming rune for free. For free, might I add. All you have to do is overflow your gathered element, which just means it dissipates after the turn, so you have to gather it next turn, but who cares? You created the sun. Oh yeah, and not even the first level feats are safe from the bonkersness of this class. You get Stone Shield. It allows you to essentially raise a shield of stone, which gives you a +2 circumstance bonus to your AC, which I have to add is legitimately better than the actual shield spell. This is like actually using the shield. This is using your element as a shield, and it isn't even overflow, so you don't lose your gathered element to do this, and you can still use the element for any other abilities that you so need. Not only that, but you get a +2 circumstance bonus to fortitude saving throws and your fortitude DCs while the shield is up. And also, let's not forget, it gives you a hardness of level 6. And then every odd level after this, it increases the hardness by 3. And it gives you access to shield block without actually having the shield block feat. Now, you can only shield block with your stone shield, but let's review this first level feat, shall we? You can raise shield without actually wielding a shield, giving you a +2 circumstance bonus, making it already better than the shield cantrip. Not only that, but you get a +2 circumstance bonus to your fort saves, and it gives you access to the shield block reaction, and it has a better hardness than a shield cantrip of its level. Now, I do actually believe that the shield cantrip outpaces this eventually, but that's fine, because this gives you more AC and a fort bonus. But wait, it actually gets more insane. Would you like infinite flight at level 8? Because Wings of Air does just that. At level 8, you get a fly speed equal to your land speed or 30, whichever is greater, for 10 minutes. And unlike a normal fly speed, you don't fall at the end of your turn if you don't use a fly action. And you don't treat going upwards as difficult terrain, which all other flying things have to do, unless stated otherwise. Now, you're slower than someone who's using the fly spell, for instance, but you're not using spell slots. And this action doesn't even have overflow, so you can do this and not have to worry about reloading your element. And not only that, but at level 14, you can just do this for 5 additional allies. Now, it doesn't seem like they get the other benefits, like the improved flight so you can fly up or whatever, but you can still give 5 creatures at least the ability to fly at the same fly speed that you do. So if you take any feats or abilities that give you a higher fly speed, this actually translates over to their speed, if I'm reading this right, which gain the same fly speed. Yeah, it's the same fly speed as this should grant. So, infinite flight at level 8. This has not existed in Pathfinder 2E up until this point. Level 16 is when most classes get access to infinite flight. I think there's some lower level magic items, but you have to have, 1, have access, and 2, have gold. This is just a feat. And this is why everyone is crazy about the Kineticist right now. It is very strong, incredibly strong in this playtest, I have to add. I do believe that this is on purpose, though. This playtest is designed to go hard into what they wanted for the Kineticist. And if you check through, Water has a slightly different action economy setup compared to some of the other feat trees. So I'm assuming is they threw a bunch of things into this playtest they wanted to see. They wanted to see if it was more balanced, if they made more actions, used more overflow, or what have you. Not only that, but I think they wanted to use a lot of these actions to see if it very much created the style of gameplay they wanted to make. I do like this. Not only that, but it's an interesting class because there's so many feats that it becomes one of the most versatile classes to build in the game. Now, do I think they needed to go to this level? No, not at all. And this is not a video for me talking about balance. Let me get this straight here. Despite everything that I said earlier, I feel like a Kineticist is going to perform more poorly in combat than actually a good majority of classes at this point anyway. They do get some good abilities, and I think they can kind of hold their ground pretty well. But if you're comparing them to a spellcaster, in a combat, they can't compare because whatever spell-like ability they get is just going to be worse than the spellcaster's ability in combat. Now, if we're talking outside of combat, I think that their utility outside the combat way outstrips anything a caster can do because they don't have to worry about spell slots. They don't even have to worry about resetting focus points. They can just keep going. That's what makes them strong, and I think that they pushed the envelope as far as they could with this playtest because it would be easier to cut things back, to shorten it, and to make things better balanced than it would be to playtest something, feel like they needed to add something, and then add something without adding another playtest. And I don't think they want to do multiple playtests for the same classes. I think they have a very good idea of what they want, but I think they pushed the envelope for this playtest because they wanted to see how certain things interacted, how action economies worked, how players overall liked it. So, once you get the chance to actually look into this class and playtest it a bit yourself, please go to the forums. They're going to put up the ability to give your feedback for the playtest, and everyone who does play it can put down what their ideas are on the playtest, and this will make the game better. Paizo has a really good history of going back over, requests, feedback, and making sure that the players get what they want while maintaining a strong balance. I thought Psychic and Thaumaturs were a little bit wonky when they came out. Heck, I remember Witch, when it was coming out, was a little bit weird to me too. And when they came out for real, they were really well balanced, really well designed, and they were perfect. At least perfect in the sense of they fit with the game. I don't feel like there's been any power creep in the system up until this point, and that's really good. It's really good for the health of the game and the community in general. So, don't get your hopes up. A lot of the stuff in this playtest I feel like is going to get pulled back, is going to get limitations put on it, and that's okay because they're designing it to be balanced. And they're going to have a whole year because this will be coming out with the Rage of Elements book, which will be coming out next year sometime, and next summer sometime, I should specify. And they're going to have a lot of time to hammer out the dents of this particular class. I was going to say archetype. Archetypes on the brain. So, yeah, my general impression is I like a lot of what they're going with it. I think some of the abilities offer too much utility, but not enough combat ability. Also, the class has really lame level up abilities for non-feat choice, or not even choices. Leveling up in Kineticist, if you don't take any Kineticist feats, sucks. Their class-based features are just not cool. They allow you to do very simple and honestly prestidigitations like things. So, like, I feel like that needs to be work on, and I'll be giving my feedback as well. It's just, I wanted to get this video out so that people know exactly what the hype is about, why they should be excited, and what they should be expecting when they try out the class. There's also a lot of really fun things about the Kineticist, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments down below about your opinions on the Kineticist. I'm sure people will disagree with me on some of my opinions on that. I have not seen any opinions on the Kineticist that has jived with everyone anyway. So yeah, that's the thing. But I'm not going to get all bent out of shape over it. In the end, it's a playtest, and we can't make any... we can't make any final decisions on what the class is going to be like until it actually comes out. But with that, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your games. Leave the bad luck to me. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.